Hello, sorry I'm late. Just gonna put a link up on the Facebook group. Just grab this. Hold on. Send post. Right. Let me get back to the main screen. Right. Hello everyone. Richard, Mitya, Stuart Guest, and Matteo. Good to see you again. Right. Hey Paul. Yeah, it's not too bad outside actually, is it? As you can see, I'm in a different room yet again. I've now moved upstairs into my own little man cave room. I have all my bits and pieces in the background. Hey guys, hey Mark and Retro Robbins. Right. I wanna test game.bas. Right. Before I start on anything, I just want to make some quick changes to this specifically for Jasper. Jasper Carlson. Basically, he's been doing a rolling ball. It looks quite cool. So, I don't know how far he's got since last week. So what I was thinking of doing is get the screen back on with you lot on so I can see what you're replying. Yeah, I should update to suspect. Yes, Alibi Studios, you should watch this ready for your next delivery next year. You can follow along if you go back to the first one. Obviously after this, I go through setting up CSpec and a program called, let me just get it up on the screen, HDFM GUI, which allows you to launch things and copy files to and from the system. But you can see that in the first video. So you'll just have to watch along for now and then catch up. That's a shame, Everett. But you can catch up at least. As for last week, I wasn't on last week because I was doing the room update, well, moving room. So anyway, let me see if I can get the picture to show you all, in case you don't know what I'm talking about when I was talking about Jasper's game. And let me find it. So many posts in this group since last week. It's great seeing it so active. Scrolling through. Bear with me. So many posts. There we go. If I drag this across and when it resizes, right. Where is it? Basically, there you go. This game here, it's got a ball rolling around. Right. Let me get up back to the other screen. God, my laptop's gone really slow for some reason. Could it be because I had 2 C-specs running? But that's all I had running, and Windows and a load of tabs. Could be out of memory. Right, anyway. Because he was doing that ball game, I thought, no, run this. Right. I thought what I'll do is I'll do a quick thingy to change, well, quick mod to this to change the movement so that it'll be handy for Jasper and anyone else who wants to do a kind of ball moving game. So I'm not going to change any of the graphics or anything for now. It's just a quick modification for the ball movement. Let me just get the screen back up so I can see all the replies again. See where you're up to. Yeah, that is a good point, Stuart. Be careful when you're modifying, because if you've been modifying, then the changes that I do to this code might be different to yours depending on how many lines you've added. Yeah, they're great, aren't they, Paul? Paul Pollington. Yeah, loved them. The race. In case you're wondering, they are the quarter-sized replicas, down to a quarter scale of the originals, and you get them from Numskulls, numskulls.com. Let me just check. And my net's died. I hope the stream's working. Good to see you, Rusty and Crowley. Or Crowley, then I pronounce it. Lee Smith's. I won't be showing the sprite continue just yet. You'll see why as we go along, because what I'm doing is doing this game in a simple way so that A, it's easy to understand, and B, it will hopefully be easier when we come to converting it to machine code. Pretty much hopefully line for line or thereabout. That's the plan anyway, so that it will help people, well, hopefully help people understand to go changing over from basic to doing new stuff in machine code. Obviously, I won't be doing floats in machine code, so we won't be using floats for now. And let's see, hang on, lost my screen again. Yeah, okay, glad it makes sense. Like, right. So I've changed this line to call it test game ball.bash, line 10, so that when it saves, it doesn't go over our original test game.bash, because we'll be coming back to that to add the baddies a bit later on in this episode. But what we're doing now is going to add in the extra stuff. Right. One thing that I will need to do in this is when we it's this load testlev2.spr. Actually, we call it testlev3.spr. Right, and then .spr edit testlev3.spr. Now you won't need to do this in your version, Jasper. But what I'm doing is just to show which blocks it was. I think it was that for the background. So I'll just quickly do this, and then actually we could change this so it comes down here, and oh no, put that there. Doing a little track kind of thing. Right. So actually, if we do that, it's a bit more even then, isn't it? Right. So it's a little simple test track. And then we'll save that and exit out. Save it with Shift S, exit out with symbol Shift Space, or Control Space when you're using a PC. Right, so we've now got our new test level. So now that that's done, just probably would free up memory using shorter variable names, but for now it's just so people can have an idea what they are. It saves calling them A, B, C, D, and so on. Just makes it a bit easier to understand. Right. So what we need to do is down in our setup, in our level setup, after 370, 3080, we can do let sx, which equal, let's call it let sy equal 0.0. Right, so that is that's our second little mod, or the first mod, because you're not going to be changing your level because you've already got one as a roadmap setup or a ball layout. Now, the next bit where it gets to change is in the handle player. Right. Now, when you, instead of doing that, let py equal py minus 1, we do let sy equal sy minus 0.2. Right, and then we got let pa equal 1, and we don't do that, let dy. Right, then we do if sy is less than minus 3.0, then let sy equal minus 3.0. Right, and what that will do, the sy will be the speed in the y direction. So we've decreased it by 0.2 and then capped it out. This bit we've decreased the speed y by 0.2 pixels, and then if the speed y is less than minus 3, then set it to 3, so it'll cap it at minus 3. And kind of do the same again in the next line, which is 6040. Instead of let py equal py plus 1, which is the player y, it's not going to be that anymore. It's let sy equal sy plus 0.2. And then instead of the let dy equal 1, we do if sy is greater than 3.0, then let sy equal 3.0. And like the one that caps the minus, this one will add to 0.2 to the sy, or the y speed of the ball. And then if sy is greater than 3, so cap it at 3 and let sy equal 3. Right, so we do the same again with the x. So 0.2, so let sx equal sx minus 0.2 on line 6050. Then get rid of the dx because we don't need that dx anymore for now. If sx is less than minus 3.0, then let sx equal 3.0. And on line 660, do the same again, but sx instead of px, and 0.2 for the speed, and get rid of the dx equal 1. And then if sx is greater than 3.0, then let sx equal 3.0. Right. And then this died, but what we want to do is we want to put in before that, we do let px equal px plus sx colon let, hang on, I missed a t out there, been a bug. Right, let tx, which is our temporary x for collision, and let py equal let ty temporary y equal player y. And colon go sub 7000, which is our collision routine. Right, so all we're doing here is we're adding the x movement, which is sx, speed x, to the player x position. Then we're setting up the temp x and temp y for the collision routine, and then going sub 7000, which gets the collision off the map, and returns in R%. So if R% wrong one equals int open squiggly brackets wall, close squiggly brackets, then let px equal ox colon let sx equal sx minus sx times 0.75. Px equal px plus sx. Let go sub 7,000 if R% equals int more, then let px or ox and sx equal, I know why, %r. Right, 6062. Yeah, you're right, Stuart, should be %r and markdowns. This doesn't increase it by 2 pixels, it increases it by 0.2, but it increases a speed which you add. You'll see in a minute when I run it. Anyway, now that we've done the collision for the X, we need to do the same for the Y. So we do where is it? Hang on the wrong window. Type on the wrong window there. Let py equal py plus sy colon let tx equals px. So basically copying the line more or less same line for line. Goes up 7,000 colon if % r equals int brackets wall, then let py equal oy colon let sy equal minus sy times 0.75. And yes, it indeed, Stuart, I was just about to ask, does anybody know why it's let sx equal sx times minus sx times 0.75 and let sy equal minus sy times 0.75? And basically what it is when you hit a wall, we will reset the x or the y position, depending on whether it's up or down, left or right, to the old position, and we will change the speed in the x or the y direction, and we'll invert it with the minus bit, and then so it's sx or sy equals minus sx or sy times 0.75. So it'll invert it. Right, if it's positive, it'll make it negative. If it's negative, it'll make it positive, and then the times 0.75 is it'll divide it by 3/4. So it'll make it bounce with less force coming off the wall than you were going into the wall. Right. Also, we don't need this anymore since we're adding baddies. So there's no more keys now to kill yourself, because the baddies will do that for you. Right, let's just see what. Thank you, Paul. It's not overly clever, it's just simple stuff, really. Cheap effects for and then right, what we need to do now is actually I think, oh no, we're not adding baddies yet, so we don't need that. Ignore that bit, that's for the next bit. Right, so hopefully this should work. And there you have it. Hey, just be able to do some. Hang on. Why is that? We got funny blocks there or something. It could just be funny blocks in the map. Ah, I know where it is. It's the the X speed, or when we go left. Here we go. It's there. So if Sx is less than -3, then let Sx equal -3, not 3. And that's why it was bumping, because we were hitting the max speed, going left. So this should work now. It'd have probably been better if I'd had a ball animation. But there we go. So that's for you, Jasper. Little mod for you, so you can have your ball rolling around. And he's probably not with us at the moment. Or not in the chat anyway, because he hasn't said anything. But for anyone else, or when he watches it at another time, that is the modification for making it bounce around with a velocity instead of movements. Yeah, it does look like he's on ice, which is why we slow it down. Use the 0.2. Like if we change the 0.2 to 0.1, it will be like he's on even more ice, because it'll basically the change in direction. We've got a nice fast speed going here, and then to change around, it's just like got no control, because it takes so long to go from +3 to -3 if you're only changing it by 0.1. So it's like 60. So it's like a whole second for it to change direction. 3 and 1, and there we go. It'll start changing direction again. And again, we can change that to any speed really. 0.4, and then it'd be a lot faster. So as you can see, I can change direction a lot quicker. And it also be something like say we wanted a Mario game where you're running along a platform, obviously not bouncing along a platform. But yeah, so you could run and then change direction. Yeah, 10 points deducted for each rebound. That's a good point. Right, now need to load up the old one again. So it's load test game.bash. Right, and we're back to where we were. Right, now now that we've got that out of the way, so is that easy enough to follow? Good. Right, now for those of us wanting to go back to the old way, where you're moving around without all the inertia, go back to our test game.bash, and we can carry on again. Sort the windows out on the other screen. See what's going on. Jasper, when you get round to seeing this again, I hope this helps. Assuming you haven't already done it yourself, but we shall see. Let me know how it goes, and let me know when you add this to yours, and don't forget to post a video in the Specky group again. Right, now what we want to do next is 1077, which is our setup. We want to do let max enemies equal 20. Right. Just make sure that works. Yep. Right. So now we've got up to 20 enemies. So in our level setup in 1081, numbad equal 0, let's bx equal no, let by equal 0. Right, and then when we're setting it up, well, when it's going through the level design, 1, 2, 3, well, the level sprites that we used to make the maps up, we shall do if percent v equals 1c, so that'll be green and not full green. Then let, although we should probably have a different color, but we'll do that now. Percent u equal, actually we could make it 1f, and I should update despec. Right, and then what it'll do is if there's a baddie there, you want it to clear it to 0, and that's what the let u equals 0 does, because we poke that %u value in the next line and poke that into the pointer of the new temporary map. So let %u equals 0, and then what else do we need to do? Yeah, we need to let Z80 let numbad equal numbad plus 1. So we're going to increase the number of baddies because we know this is a baddie, and then we need to do let e bracket numbad comma 1 equal the x in baddie x position, and then let e bracket numbad comma 2 equal by, let e bracket numbad comma 3 close bracket equal 1 colon let e bracket numbad comma 4, because we're only I'm not setting up any animation frames at the moment for now. I'm just setting up the basic stuff to get something on the screen equal 0, and what this will do, just check. Can delete line 183. The 1083. Why can? Oh yeah, we can. Sorry. Yep. I shall get rid of line 1083 because it's in line 1081. Right. 124. And we do the same thing again. Typed on the wrong screen. It doesn't help if I do that. If % v equals string e0, it should be red. Then let %u equal naught, which clears the block. Then for collisions, then let numbad equal numbad plus 1, colon let e, which is our enemy buffer, enemy array, numbad comma 1 equal bx, colon let e bracket numbad comma 2 equal by, colon let e bracket numbad comma 4 equal 0 comma 3, sorry, equals 0, colon let e bracket numbad comma 4 equal 1. Right, and the reason the reason why we're defining the array of max enemies and 4 values for each enemy is currently we're just going to do the x and the y and the direction for the x and direction for y, or speed x and speed y. So we could actually make this 0.0 and 1.0, start. Right, and then see what he's saying. No changes. Right. So then what we need to do is actually it's not yeah 125. Let bx equal bx plus 16, which basically moves the block because we're doing. Oh, hang on. Let me just scroll up. Because we're doing 190, well, not 191, which is 192 blocks, we need an x and a y position. So that's why we've got the bx and by is 0. And then, so let bx equal bx plus 16, 16 pixels for the block, each block. And then if bx is greater than 256, then let bx equal bx 0 colon let by equal by plus 16. So bx equals 0 is to move back to the beginning of the on the left, and then by equal by plus 16, move down a block, 16 pixels. Yep, as Tony Dang says, update C-spec. Right, and then what we need to do now is in the game loop, 4030, go sub 8000, handle enemies. Right, and then down to the bottom, 8000, rem handle enemies 8010. If none bad equals 0, if we haven't got any, then just remember, can't even take them. Hold on, just going to drink of water. It's actually vodka, but I'm not going to tell him a whole pint. No, it's just water, literally. Has anyone typed in the stream? Because I'm getting the circles on the update. Can someone just type something just so I can see that it is updating? Because the last thing I've got is from Tony Dang saying C-spec 2.1239 allow to download. Oh yeah, it's right. Okay, you are still there then. It's not my machine stopping. Yep, okay. Right, back to the code then. 8020 for n. We don't use n for anything else, do we? N equals 1 to numbad 8030. Let e bracket n comma bracket n comma 1 e close bracket equal e bracket n comma 1 plus e bracket n comma 3. Right, and that will add the x speed to the x position. And then let e bracket n comma 2 equal e bracket n comma 2 plus e bracket n comma 4. And that will add the y speed to the y position. And as you saw in the code above, where was it? In the setup, we have 0 and 1, and on the other one we have 1 and 0. So x speed 1, y speed 0, x speed 0, y speed 1. because we're not having them moving diagonally, we're just having them up and down. So what we need to do now is use our tx and ty for our temporary values. Let ty equal e bracket n comma 2, so x and y position, and then go sub 7000, which gets our that's the map. And if percent r equals int bracket wall, then let e bracket n comma 1 equal e bracket n comma 1 minus this time, because we want to put it back to its old position, 3 colon let e bracket n comma 3 equal minus e bracket n comma 3, and that will invert the y direction, the x direction, sorry. So at the x speed, I'll subtract the x speed and then invert the x speed. So subtract the x speed from and then we need to do the same again with the y. Let e bracket n comma 2 equal e bracket n comma 2 close minus e bracket n comma 4 colon let e bracket n comma 4 close brackets colon sorry, equal minus e bracket n comma 4. Right, I know it looks very random, but have you followed that? Adrian, we'll go back and catch up. Yeah, there's not really that much to catch up on this one. You've missed out the bit at the beginning where we did like a ball movement. But for this bit exactly, I could probably go over it pretty quick for you now. Got in the setup somewhere. There we go. Line 1077. Let max enemies equal 20. And 1078 dim e bracket max enemies comma 4. Right, and then the next bit is 1081. Let numbad equal 0 colon let bx equal 0 colon let by equal 0. Right, and then the next one is, actually it should let you finish copying them. Are you following along, or are you going to catch up later, Adrian? Because if you want to follow along, then I can wait. It's not too much been added. Adrian, hello, are you there? Are you there, or are you just, what do you want to do? Do you want to watch on or update? Or are you in the middle of updating? I'll wait till you probably rewound it back and watching along, so I'll carry on as normal then. Thanks for the test, Paul. Yeah, he's probably rewound the video. That's why I said what I'll do is I'll just carry on as normal, and he can catch up when he does. So we're back at the 8,000 stuff, weren't we? Right. Let's see where we're up to. Right, 8060. And if brackets E brackets N comma 1, right, we're going to do some collision, and this is going to be a box collision against the player. Basically, we check if the enemy X position plus 16 is greater than the player's X position, and the player's X position plus 16. And I'll type this line out as it is, so that I'm not like losing the place in my head, and then they're getting coffee and going back to the start. Okay, no worries. Cheers. Yeah. So is greater than E bracket N comma 1, and brackets E brackets N comma 2 plus 16, because we're doing the Y position now, is greater than PY, and bracket PY plus 16 is greater than E bracket N comma 3 2. Then let died equal 1. 8070 sprite N comma that's one of the good things about the arrays in basic starting at 1, because our player sprite is sprite 0. When we do the baddies going from 1 to the amount of baddies that are on screen, we can just do sprite N, because it'll be 1 to however many baddies you've got on screen. Right, N comma E brackets N comma 1, and it was -8 for the center of it, and then maybe it needs to be plus 32 minus 8. Yep. And then comma E Y position we need now, comma 2 plus 32 minus 16, 14, because we have a couple of pixels at the bottom. A bit of movement for the feet. And then comma a sprite number 4 and then 1 to turn the sprite on. Right, 8080 is next N, and then 8090 is return. Right, now should check to make sure it saves the right name. Yeah, it's game. Right, will it work? hang on, let me just see what we've got in the sprite editor. Make it load a different sprite bank. Slash sprite. Test live.spl. All right, I remember. Yeah, I did played before. You've got the up and down ones being E0 and left and right one being 1C. So, right. Changed it to 1C, didn't I? Right. So we've got ones that are stuck. Hang on. These are 7,000. 1C is a baddie. Yeah. Basically, hang on. Let me edit. Test live.spl. Right. We've got this one, which is, as you can see over here, is 1C. So it's 1 down and then 12 across, or FEDC. And then the red one is E0. Yeah, it's a good idea, Adrian. So yeah, Markdown's 1C is a baddie. As you can see, the 1C is the baddies that go left and right, and the E0 are baddies that go up and down. So I just need to find out why now the baddies. Hang on. Where's your start position? Fix pxpy. There you go. So 32 plus 8 plus. And it'll be in setup, won't it? In 1 something. It'll be X, won't it? Right, so if I do plus 32 and then plus 32, and there, plus 32 for the X and plus 32 for the Y. Remove that offset from down here. That should help with the collisions. Right, hang on. What we shall do is do some debugging of the sprites, and what we'll do is we'll get rid of all of the baddies so that we have just one on screen. And that's our exit. That's 1D, not 1C. Right. So now, if I save that and exit and run, we should just have one. Right. So plus 16. Actually, make it plus 2 saves an extra, and then plus 8 to make it in the center of the sprite it's on. Actually, what's that? It's lab.spl. Right, run. Right, I think we need to add 16, not 8. And showing it. Right, so that's got it in the right place to start off with, and it should bounce when it gets to the wall. If not, then we need to find it. It should go halfway through the wall and then bounce, like you can. No, or maybe not. It's gone way off. I change that to 32. And then when we set it up, plus 8, because that's how I want it to be inside this, right? And then plus 14, because we want it to be the 8 pixels into the block and 14 pixels down the down the block. And then we can modify the bit where it points to it. Hang on. Collision's going to be out as well then, isn't it? I just add 32 on the collision when it gets to tile map. Checks plus 32. Plus 32. Right. So it needs to be plus 32 needs to be plus 16. Right. Here we go. Actually, we need to SPR edit blocks.spr, block.spr. Not that one. It's not block, what is it? Tiles, what do we call it? Tiles.spr. Right, so yeah, it was. So it should be in the center of the block. So we probably need to move it down 4 pixels. Well, down a couple of pixels. Let's see what it is in the game. Yes, I need to move it down 2 pixels. So we draw it. Right, hopefully that should bounce. Not modify the XY offset on the collision routine. Right, so TX that's way out, isn't it? 24. It's 32 minus 8, so 24. Try that. Let's see how far that goes. And I wasn't setting it up right in the first. It's it. Plus 8. It's halfway in. Come on. So the collision map is going 1 over to the right. So when I get a temporary X, I'll just add 16, so make that 48. Yep. Right, now, so if we do SPR edit test lev.spr, you should be able to do an up-down body. Where else should we have one here? That should do. And then one there. One there. One here. And one here. And we got one here as well for fun. Right, save that. Right, come on, up and down ones, hopefully. I need to put the up and down ones in the right offsets as well. That's not the setup bit. That is the setup bit being the same. I plus 14. So that's why. So I should need to really plug in now, innit? That'll help. That'll be sped up if you reduce label names and things and use integers rather than floats. Right, let's just get it working anyway. The X ones are right. Just the Y ones are starting in the wrong place, aren't they? Starting too far over to the right. There we go. No worries, Paul. Catch you later. Oh, this is really slow. Oh, I died. What did I collide with? Right. Let me just test lab.spl. Let's reduce the amount of bodies that we have on screen. Anyway. So we've only got 4 on screen. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just for now. And then we can speed that up next week when we do, in 2 weeks when we start going across to machine code. Right. The vertical ones are going. Bouncing too early, aren't they? Right, so the collision detection bit in 8000. And 24, take 8 off the. Shall take a bit more off. And TX, there we go. 20, try that. The center of the sprites. Nope. Eight. Gone too far. Yep. 26, 26. It'll probably be 24. 24. It's not this. There we go. I'll do. Right. What did I collide with then? So the x position plus 16 is greater than px, and px plus 16 is greater than the, or is it less than? So if the right hand side is greater than the left hand side, so the right hand side of the enemy is greater than, so this, if the right hand side, which is the left hand side plus 16, is greater than the left hand side, it could be this old chestnut. Making sure they're in brackets. Nope, it's not. Put 16 in bracket. That should work as a box collision. Yeah. What, like that? I mean that don't work. Head. All right, yeah, see what you mean. Okay. Let's try that. Could be that, yes, very well spotted there. Greater than, greater than. No, they're all greater than. It needs to be greater than because you have the +6 at the beginning, +16 at the beginning. Basically, what you're doing is you're saying if the right hand edge is greater than, if the right hand edge of the enemy is greater than the right hand edge, the left hand edge of the player, then it's collision for the first pass. Then if the right hand is greater than, if the right edge of the player is greater than the right edge of the enemy, then it'd be a collision. And then if the same with the Y, basically if the top is of the enemy, or the bottom of the enemy is greater than the top of the player, and then when the top of the player is the bottom of the player is greater than the top, the bottom of the player is greater than the top of the enemy. Yeah. Right. Let's do some deductive work and show you how you go about working the deduction on, how to get it sorted. What you do is, to start off with, helps if I can type test spr test left.spr. Right, what we do is we get rid of all of sprites and we get our enemy and put him here because we want to get close. Right, so we save that. Right, and then what we do is if we copy that to 65 and then run this out, then what we do is we slowly put it all back in again. Right, so when the enemy, the right hand of the enemy is greater than the left side of the player, that's because we got offset, isn't it? Hang on. Let me run it again. We need them to have the same. Print E brackets 1, 1, comma px, comma E brackets 1, 2, no, 1, 2, y, and py. So yeah, that's why, because they're out. Quite a bit out. Alright, so we start off with x is 32, which is the left hand side of the screen, plus a block and plus 8 pixels. And when we draw the sprite for the player, it is -8 and -14. Yeah, because the position of the coordinates for the player is, well, px and py is his feet. And the reason we subtract 8 is to move the top left, which is where the sprites originate from. So what we need to do is we need to print out what the player is. Can we? Stop. Print px, comma e, comma py, comma e, bracket 1, 1, comma e, bracket 1, 2. Where is it? Layer naught. Print px, comma py, comma e, bracket 1, 1, comma 1, comma e, bracket 1, 2. Hang on. Instead of stop, I will do let zx equal e bracket bad, comma 1, colon let zy equal e bracket numbad, comma 2, and same here. Let zx equal e bracket numbad, comma 1. I could have only put on it. I could have just done it on this one since the first one. We haven't got any x baddies, x movement baddies. Bad, comma 2. Right, and then why is the keyboard stopped? Hold on. Let zx2 zxp equal px let zyp equal py. Print zx, print zx, comma zy, comma zxp, comma zyp, and they're out by quite a bit. Right. So we need to add 32 to each, plus 32 plus 32 to them, x and y. So we need to get them roughly the same. Print zx, comma zxp 4856. Right, zxp. So we need to do plus 8 because we've got 8 out, and that's halfway into the character, and then plus 14 to be by its feet, plus 8 and plus 14. Right, print zx, comma zxp, comma zy, comma zyp. Right, so we are correct with the x position now, so that will be the same, and the y position is out by what, 42. If 160 is the bottom tile, plus 8. -16 on that 192, and then -32 because it was 2 tiles up, wasn't it? Right, and then where's the player? Background position of player. Right, so -8, -14 when it draws it. So we do these -8. -8 goes back 8 pixels, so it's just in the center. Right, so they are in the right place. Right, it's dying now because it's making a collision, because we should now be able to that should not need the offsets. Collision of the backgrounds. Right, so anyway, should be able to comment, add in the next Right, so if bracket bracket the x plus 16 greater than e bracket n comma 1 close close, then you close that. Right, that will do that because both of these values are true. So if we do this and actually get rid of 8060, change that to 8060, get rid of 8065. Fingers crossed this should work. Because the sprite's bigger than 16 pixels, isn't it? So if we do right, that should be right then. If we go back in and edit the level, test live.spr, and move that back. Add one there, one there, and one there. And we're only having 2 on each, weren't we? On C. Have in there. And one here. Save that. And run that. Oh yeah. Me too. Right. Like I said the week before last week, I've basically not used BASIC for 30 odd years, so I'm getting back to grips with it as well as doing these tutorials. So now I can move, and I need to check the collisions. Draw the offsets on the X offsets on the bodies look okay for the collision. The backgrounds, it's just the Y, and yeah, because his box is bigger than it. Actually, if we tiles, wasn't it? Yeah, tiles.sprite. Right. Oh. There we go. Right. Yeah, I'm only doing the one sprite, aren't I? It's getting on a bit. Right. Save that. Run that. And there we have it. Indeed, he would. Darth would. Right. Let's do. Can I make it in time? I'm not going to make it, am I? He got me. Yeah. Top collision works. So yeah, collisions work perfectly now. With the box anyway. And we should try with the left-right moving ones. This will be so much better in a couple of weeks once we've got it working in assembly. You got me. Right. So we now have enemies wandering around and collisions. Does anyone have any questions? The code for 1C. Yeah, I can do that, Mark. There we go. Right, it is if %v equals string 1c, then let %u equals 0, colon, let numbad equal numbad plus 1, colon, let e bracket numbad, comma 1, equal, close bracket, equal bx plus 32 plus 8, which plus 32 takes it across the left-hand border, and plus 8 takes 8 pixels in. Let to be in the center of the tile, and let e bracket numbad plus comma 2, which is the y position, equal by plus 32 plus 14, which takes it down 32 pixels from the top border, and then plus 14 pixels takes it down to nearly the bottom of the tile. And then let e equal let e brackets numbad comma 3 equal 1.0, which is the x speed, and then let e bracket numbad comma 4, which is the y speed, close bracket, equal 0.0. And we can get rid of these zx's and zy's now. And the if %v equals string e0, then let u %u equals 0, colon, let numbad equal numbad plus 1, colon, let e brackets numbad comma 1, close bracket, equals bx plus 32 plus 8, colon, let e bracket numbad comma 2, which is the y position, close bracket, equal by plus 32 plus 14, colon, let e brackets numbad comma 3, which is the x speed, close bracket, equal 0 because it's a y movement body, and let e bracket numbad comma 4 equal 1, which is a y movement. of 1. So it's downstream. Where are we up to? Why is assembly faster, Gamerise? Because it runs each instruction instead of, well, runs each instruction as one instruction, and it runs for 28 megahertz on the next, and so there's 28 million cycles per second. So when you add up the amount of instructions you can do, an instruction is a minimum 4 cycles and up to 19 or something, whatever, cycles for one instruction, depending on how complex the instruction is. So it can do a hell of a lot more instructions in machine code, because with BASIC it's got machine code running in behind the scenes to actually read each line of BASIC and do what it's doing, and converting numbers to floats and stuff, which we'd have converted a lot of this to integers, it would speed it up a hell of a lot, let alone speeding it up with machine code. And the baddies loop. Yep, okay. Handle enemies at 8000. Handle enemies. 8010. If numbad equals 0, then return. 8020. For n equals 1 to numbad. 8030. Let e equal brackets n comma 1. Let e brackets n comma 1 close brackets equals e bracket n comma 1 close bracket plus e bracket n comma 3. What that does is it's the 1 is the first value in the E array for the baddie number, which is we use as the exposition. So the exposition equal exposition plus and then 3 the E array index into the numbad, and the third byte in each baddie is the x speed, and then we do the same for the y, which let e bracket n comma 2 close equal e bracket n comma 2 plus e bracket n comma 4. So it adds the y speed to the y and stores it in the y. Hang on, where are we going? What we're coding today? Hey Trista, basically what we are doing today is we are adding baddies or enemies, and if we run it, you can see we have some baddies moving around, well, some squares moving around, and if you walk into them at the very speed it's running, we'll obviously speed it up in a couple of weeks with machine code. But yeah, I've tried to keep the code simple, not including too much, because we want to get out of BASIC and into machine code, because that's when you can do a lot more stuff. And collision, and it's dead. So that's what we've been doing today. And we also did a rolling ball for Jasper Carlson, who posted on the SpeckyNext Facebook group a modification that he did to the last episode, which had a ball moving around with the keys. But the thing is, it was because we only had it moving around 1 pixel at a time when you pressed. There was no inertia to it, so you couldn't it wasn't like rolling a ball. So at the start of the lesson, I did a modification that wasn't included in this. It was just like a separate modification. We changed the file name and made it have a ball that you could roll. Well, not a ball, but the sprite rolling around like a ball with inertia. It's quite good. So you'll see it when you play the replay. And yeah, you don't have to have checks in machine code. It's a hell of a lot faster. You'll see how fast it is when we show you on the difference. From doing this, we'll be able to add a lot more baddies and stuff. So anyway, back to Mark and the baddie loop where we were up to. Was this one, wasn't it? Let 8040 let tx, this is a temporary x and temporary y, ty, equal the enemy's x position and the enemy's y position, and goes up 7,000, takes tx and ty and returns with %r being the value of that block at that position. And then so we've got if it's a wall, then the baddie has hit a wall, so you need to then let em bracket 1 equal x position equal x position minus the x speed. So instead of up here we were adding the x speed, what you want to do is when you hit a wall, you need to bounce it back to where it was, and then invert the x speed. I mean, you could put it to the edge of the block, but we're not going to do that for now because I want to speed things up and get more people across the machine code side of things, just because it's a lot easier. Right, so anyway, the let e brackets n comma 3 close equal e minus e n comma 3, and that basically negates the the speed that the baddie is moving in, the x speed. And then we do the same for the y position. Y position equals enemy y position minus the enemy y speed, and enemy y speed equals minus enemy y speed. And then 8060 is the collision. If the enemy x position plus 16, which is the right hand side of the sprite, is greater than the player's x position, then it checks if the player's x position plus 16 pixels is greater than the enemy's x position. Then it checks the next one, which is the y. So it checks the y, enemy y plus 16 is greater than player y, and then it checks the player y plus 16 is greater than the enemy y. And then if all 4 values are true, then you have died. Well, you have died. You're in one of the collision points inside. So if you collide with it, or it collides with you, then it's all these values become true, and then it's let died equal 1, and then our game loop handles that and takes a life off you, and then has game over at the end. And then sprite just draws the sprite n, which is the sprite number. And we're currently using that as the enemy number as well. It's conveniently started at 1. And then enemy brackets n, comma 1, which is the x position, minus 8, because we want to take it, draw the sprite from the point that it is on, which is the center in the x. So we subtract, because the sprite is 16 pixels wide, we subtract half of it, and it's 8 pixels. And then we get the e brackets n comma 2, which is y, minus 14, which is like where the feet were on the player. So it's more or less the bottom of the thingy, bottom of the sprite, and then comma 4, which is the sprite image, and then comma 1, which is the flags, which sets 1 sets it to draw. So because if we do it as 0, it wouldn't draw the sprites, wouldn't draw the enemy sprites, so we have to have it as comma 1. And 8080 next n, which does the loop of how many sprites it needs to move around and draw and collide with, and then returns back to the routine. Let me just see where we're up to in the chat. Gas is correct. That's kind of harsh. Yeah, that's yeah. And also correct. Right. Digress. How did the baddie react if it hits the door? The baddie will not hit the door. We've only checked the on line 850. As you can see here, we only check for the baddie to hit the wall block. So it'll just go through the doors. Because the sprites anyway, they're not actually modifying the map, so it will be fine going through the walls and the doors. We can make it not go through the door. We can do if %r equals int wall and %r equals int exit, or int door, or whatever we put it as. Right, so any more questions? I mentioned in the comments previously, but still need line 3070 to go sub. 3070. Right, let's see what 3070 is. Um, 3070 goes sub 1080. That resets up the level when you've died, and it'll reset all the gems that you've picked. So can you check if Stuart, if your gems are still there once you die on a level? I'm sure we can do that, Rusty. If you need some beef jerky, we know what he's like for beef jerky. See you, Retro Robbins. No, he's probably already gone. You just put the player back at the start. That's why it works. No worries. So yeah, you can. If you remove the that line, then at 3070, it will just leave the gems as they were. Otherwise, it'll reset them back to the full screen, which is basically like Manic Miner, where it resets them back to all the gems back in the same position, and all the baddies back to the same position. Because if you don't do the go sub 1080, it won't reset the baddies now. Okay, glad that's sorted. Any other questions? Are we back, please? Yeah, I can scroll through the code slowly. I shall do that now. Haley. If I finished watching part 3 earlier, might be up to date for the next one. Cool. That would be ace. Good to see you anyway. Right, I shall do as I did last week. So I shall leave it on here for a little while. Let you pause the screen. It should be nice and static. That's giving you plenty of time to pause the game. Well, pause the video when you're playing it back, and then goes down to level complete. There we go. I shall. Nope, there. I'll stop it there. Right. So 900 level complete. I won't read through it because I'm sure you'll be able to read it yourself. Just hold it long enough again so you can pause it at your own leisure and catch up. That should be long enough for that one. And then max enemies, you've got 20, so I'll get that at the top of the screen. There we go. And I'll pull the cursor out of the way so it's not blocking anything. I'll pause that there for a little while. That's plenty of time for you to play the music from Joy of Painting. Yeah. Should have a button to cue some music, but then I would need to get some licensed music that we could put on. Was that where it was up to? I don't know. Max enemies. Yeah. 1, 2, 4. There we go. Ah, shit. Matt, why didn't you say earlier? I'd totally forgotten about putting it in. I wouldn't mind, but I've already done the Control F1 ready, and I totally forgot about doing the 64 column. I shall remember for next time, or try and remember. It would, wouldn't it, David? Oh, did they? I mustn't have seen it. No, I don't remember. Old grey cells aren't what they used to be. Hang on. I'm just looking through the text to see if there's. Can't see 64 column mode. Right. How do you use the? Hang on. Let me just, Stuart. Let me just finish this scrolling through this. Yep. 2030. Pause it here again. Hopefully that should be enough time for you to pause it. And then there. Hang on, let me just get that last line in where we got to. Right. That's plenty of time for you to pause it again. Because if it's not, you can always just rewind it back and pause it again at the right time. Stop it here. There's that. And that should again be plenty enough time for you to hit the pause button. And then down to 6080. There we go. You can see that bit. And again, that's enough time for you to pause it. Well, should be enough time anyway. Yeah, that's the next bit. Yeah, that'd be cool, Richard, if you want to do that. You could put it on quietly in the background. That'd be cool. Might be a good plan. Again, that's enough time for you to pause it. And there we go. And that is the game so far. Now, do you want me to, in 2 weeks, go through optimizing this to change it all to integers? Or do we want to move on and do some convert it into code? What do you want to do? Okie dokie. Yeah, I think code would be a better thing. Sorry, Rusty, but machine code. It'd be best to get people onto the machine code anyway, because you can do a hell of a lot more. As for if you wanted to start your sprite to start at 8, like our ball starts at 8, we can do this, and we have the ball. Or what we can do is we can do E bracket N, comma 5. Now what we'll need to do here is, because we've added another number to our body array, we need to go back up to where it sets up the thingy, because we now want 5 values. And then in the X position, let E bracket numbad, comma 5, close, equal 4. And then on this one, let E bracket numbad, comma 5 equal 8. And then what we can do is run that. And our downward moving ones have the ball sprite, which is sprite 8, and the left and right moving ones have the square. We could also do 80885. Let's add anim equal anim +1 colon if add anim equals 4, then let add anim equal 0. Right, so that would be for animations. So if we do plus add anim 5, and then at the very top where we set everything up again, where are we? By the let add anim equal 0. And we have animations. Yeah, the thing is, as I'm supposed to be teaching people to make games in machine code as well, the basic bits that we've been doing is just to give you some knowledge on logic and stuff like that, and memory, and reading keys. And so we now got a very simple game, and what we really need to do next is convert it to machine code and get that working. Cool, excellent, Stuart. Glad it's working. Very nice, high five. Probably no copyright now, won't it? Yes, very true. Rusty, you have full control over floats in assembly. It's just up to the coder to code them now. And you wouldn't want to use floats unless you had to, yes. Usually used in Z80, usually used fixed point maths. Basically, use 8 fractional point, well, 8 bits for fractional values, and then the upper 8 bits or upper 16 bits for the real integer values. But we can go through that in the coming weeks when we do the next level. Yep, no worries, Janago. We'll set up the layer 2 next week, and we'll start by not next week, the week after, sorry. And what we'll do is we'll get the stuff plotted on the screen, like we did with the first demo that we did with the ULA, where we had a pixel plotted on the screen. What we'll do is we'll do like a light cycles game, but with baddies in, just to start off with, before coming back to doing this, converting it into machine code. Because we've got to go through the basics again, but with machine code basics to get you used to doing things. Yep. Next sesh will be the 6th of December. easier still with sprites. I don't know if you could do a light cycles game with sprites, because you'd run out of sprites very quickly. But yeah, we'll get the screen up and running, and the ULA screen up and running. And yes, we'll soon have you building up libs of code. So, Matt, how's the include coming? Any luck with that? You've got 2 weeks. No, you got a bit longer than 2 weeks, because there's still time yet, because we're going to be doing setting up the screen and for layer 2 and stuff like that. Good builds today. Will a future session have jumping physics? Yeah. What we'll do is we'll do that in machine code if you want, because I'd rather have you guys making games in machine code, because it'll be better for you anyway, rather than basic, unless you want to do games in basic still. Yeah, Junagu, the layer 2 addressing is very easy. It's basically linear, byte for byte. 16k banks, 3 of them. The top third is one 16k chunk, the next third is another 16k chunk, and the next third is another 16k chunk. Or 8k chunks, and 6 8k chunks for using the banks. The MMU, which we shall be going into next in the next episode. I could do, I guess, Mark, using running cspect in the mode which sets all the memory to 0 on startup. We can do that. I don't suppose there's no reason why we can't. Yeah, gamerize the basic is a good way to learn the good learning tool to understand concepts and stuff. But you usually find that once you can get input and something on the screen, you can pretty much do anything you want. Once you've got that working on any machine, you're basically up and running and do whatever. That's the first thing I do, is whenever I get over the years when like a new machine had come out, first thing you do is get something up on the screen, get some input working, so you can move things about, and you're basically done then, and you can make anything. It's the basic blocks. All of your enemies are performing exactly as you programmed them, but I've got one stuck on the leftmost wall where I didn't put an enemy block. Could you do a video and PM me, or send me your game over, zip it up, and I'll look at it, Stuart? Just PM me on Facebook, and I'll have a look, see what it is, and then we'll fix it. It's gone sentient. So has this week's session been of use? Has it been helpful? Gone over some debugging and getting enemy arrays in, data structures, and it certainly is all part of Skynet's plans. Cool. Glad you enjoyed it. Are there any more questions? Yes, it is important to understand the dimensions as well as locations of things. Yep, cool. Excellent. Then I think what we should do then is, like I say, in the next episode, we'll go over setting up the layer 2 in machine code, and we'll also see where Matt Davies has got to with the assembler on what other features we've got, as we now also have the full screen editor, which is great because it means there's no more line numbers. So I shall be playing with that for the next 2 weeks and give him a good testing for him, make sure there's no issues when we go live in 2 weeks. And then hopefully, fingers crossed, he will have the include, or at least ink bin, sorted so that we can get stuff in other banks and not just the 48K. So we'll be able to have some graphics in there and stuff. Is that can we have or we do have? I don't know. Can you? I don't. I have no idea. I don't know. I'll have to look into it. I've never set up an event on Facebook. I guess it shouldn't be too hard though. But basically, it's in 2 weeks. What I do is I usually, as soon as I start the stream, I will get a link to the stream and then post it in the Facebook. Yeah, well, it's usually 2 o'clock. Usually starts around 2 o'clock. I was slightly late this afternoon. But Facebook party at gyms, yeah. I'll see what I can do for that anyway, Mark. Yep. What we'll do is, I might on the Saturday. I might do that Junagu. I might do another quick live stream, and then show people how to get set up in preparation, ready for the next update, well, the next session on the Sunday. So was it the 6th of, so it'd be the 5th, won't it? Let me just check the dates. Yeah, so on the 5th of December, I shall do a quick update video. And then on the 6th, I shall do the stream itself, and we shall start making game. Well, start making libraries. Hopefully, if Matt's got include sorted. If not, it's no trouble, because we're going to be able. Well, I think he's already. I'm sure he said he'd got copy and paste done, or he was working on it or something. But we'll be able to separate it out. We'll put it all into one file for now. If it's not going to be too much of an issue, getting it changed out and split into other files when we do have include working. So, funny how Matt's gone quiet. You still here, Matt, or have you gone? Yeah, fingers crossed for Matt. So yeah, should have a nice start to Chris. Hang on, let me just check how the dates will work out for next month. So yeah, that'll work quite well because the Sunday the 27th is my wife's birthday, so I won't be doing that. And she'll be busy on that day, so it works well. We do the 6th and then the 20th and then the 3rd of January. So every other 2 weeks. We can use both. It depends. I haven't used the debugger in Odin much, but we'll see how it goes. It might be best to use it in the debugger in Odin. Yeah, we'll use the debugger in Odin, and that way, if we've got people coding along with the actual next, they won't have the ability to do the debugging like that you can do in CSpect. Native is probably best, yeah. Exactly. Good point. Thanks for bringing that up. Yep, that was the whole point of it, Stephen, to get people programming in machine code. And yeah, as much as I'd like to continue doing the basic stuff, I think once you start programming in machine code, you won't look back at basic. Just the sheer amount of stuff you can add to your game. It's a lot faster. So it would be silly to spend so much time on the basic. I mean, I'm not dissing basic. It is brilliant, and what Gary has done for the next is absolutely gobsmackingly amazing. But for making the games, the whole point of this tutorial was to teach people to make games in machine code. So I think the quicker we get onto machine code, the better. We do have. Actually, has anyone got any questions on the programming or the basic stuff that we've got in so far? Has anyone got any queries on, or that they don't understand of the bits that we've done so far in the programming? If not, I could briefly go over that on the Saturday, on Saturday the 5th, when we do the Odin stuff. Because the Odin will be a quick setup. It'll only be a quick video. Rename the zip.piz instead of .zip, and then you'll be able to send it, Stuart. The FPS on the game, I don't know. It's very slow. That's basically because of all the floating point numbers that Basic is processing there, and that's why it's slow. So yeah, we'll convert this more or less line by line to machine code, and then that way it gives, because if you understand what we're doing with the basic, when it comes to doing the machine code, you'll understand it a lot better. Yeah, machine code for arcade games has got so much more potential. It's just the fact that you can do so much more. While the basic is doing all the floating point calculations and stuff, you basically get all that processing power back, so you can add so much more. Yeah, that's probably quite easy, that, Mark. because when you lose a life, it's probably in these layer 2 common noughts, layer noughts, CLS, all stuff like that, and the CLS and then layer 2, and then go sub 80, 1080, and then tile 1, and layer 2 comma 1. It's, let's say, it's probably all them with the CLSs and stuff, because it takes a while to clear the screen. And I don't know if layer 2 common nought clears the screen, or it might clear the screen as well, you see. I don't know. I'll have to check with the manual. All I know is it sets up layer 2 and turns layer 2 off, and that's turns layer 0 on, which is the ULA, and clears the screen, prints game over, and stuff like that. But what else it does, I don't know. Like I say, I haven't used Basic that much, and most of the next Basic I've barely scratched the surface on. A lot of the people who've made games and sold games for the Spectrum, I would say have used Basic a lot, Next Basic a lot more than me. Simply because when you write games in machine code, you don't tend to not look back at Basic. The erase is pretty quick, yeah. I mean, whether this needs a CLS here, I could probably get rid of that. No. Anyway. I need to update me C-spec, that repeat bug. Oh. Right, anyway, if there's no more questions, I think we shall call it a day, so I can go and get ready for tea, get some food, because I'm hungry now. So I say, any more questions before we finish up for the day? Or are we all good? Indeed. And social distance, Tony. Don't forget social distancing. Let's hope this COVID buggers off soon so we can start going back to events, because I can't wait to see everyone again. Looking forward to them when they eventually get back to normal. Rift-trolled Gamer Steve. Actually, what you can do is watch the video again. That'll be easier. Saves me redoing it again. Gamer Eyes, no problem, anytime. And you, Graham, you're welcome. And David, again, you're welcome. I will enjoy my tea. Already had dinner, I'm northern. First real-time session, yay, Mark Jones, well done for making a real-time. And Gaz, no problem, see you in a fortnight, have a good one. And if anyone has any issues, just message in the Facebook group and we'll try and sort them. Did you manage to send that to me, Stuart? I haven't checked yet. I'll check it once I finish the stream. See you later, Richard. And if you want to do that song or tune for the tutorial show, then give it a try. If it's any good, I'll put it on. Obviously, it'll have to be quiet and not too loud. I'll keep the volume down, because I'm quietly spoken anyway, so the music can't be too overpowering. haven't been to any events since. I know, but Stuart, it's been like, it feels like forever that I miss all the people and the events. I really miss them. I'm looking forward to when we can actually go back and do them again. And like I said in the last episode, what I might do is have a chat with Andy Brown and Craig Turner, see if we can do a code along at the shows. That might be fun. Yeah. Sound supporter, but always appreciated every time. Yep, Graham, no worries. I do not mind at all people just listening in and following along. That's fine. The whole point of the videos and being put on live is so that it saved to me to me YouTube channel is so that people can look at them at their own pace. You don't have to keep up with the thingy. If you watch when you're watching along on your own at a later date, you can pause it at any time. So you're not having to say, well, what did you say then? I missed that, or what did you type then? I missed that. You can just be able to pause it, rewind it, and carry on. Yeah, Bob Ross style music, that'll be cool. I just need a big afro. Let's get the full Bob Ross going. But nah, maybe not. Right, anyway, I shall. Yep, yeah, cheers. Send that file to me, Stuart. Now I'll see if you can find out what it is. I take it's the whole project with the graphics as well, not just a zip of the basic program. Squirrel coming out of your top pocket. I get some trees for the background, eh? Right, anyway, thanks for joining in, guys. It's been a pleasure, as always. Take care, be good, and be nice, and hopefully people will be good and nice back. Can't always happen, but that's the way life is. Have a good one, and I'll see you in 2 weeks, if not before. Catch you later. Take care. Bye now. Have fun. Catch you in 2 weeks.